cuts it off. A flying tackle by and a rock kick and Buddy Rogers. Oh, he caught him up there. That can was pretty hard, and look at Buddy going to work now. Oh!
Hey everybody, it's Durgertime. Welcome back to Season 2 of Billy Corgan's NWA, the TEW series where we are trying to take a newly made NWA National Wrestling Alliance and turn it into a powerhouse. And, we've been struggling. Obviously, the struggles from Season 1, and we definitely have some struggles in Season 2. If you haven't seen our previous episode, you'll know that one of the major issues after we kind of groomed down the roster is that Cody Rhodes is leaving soon and will not sign to us. He feels he has outgrown the NWA, which is a problem because part of the big push that we had was to have him as kind of our figurehead. So that's going to be kind of what we're working towards now. Is I think we have 90 days. We have New Horizons coming up in the 3rd of June. But I think the main issue here is going to be what to do with him. It's actually only week 1 of May. We might want to do another show before that. We'll take a look at it. But right now, like I said, major problem, expiring in all the way down to the bottom here. Ronda Rousey's expiring soon, but we're kind of okay with that. Cody's 90 days. So we got some time. We got 3 months to deal with it. I doubt that we're going to get big enough in that time to convince him to stay. But at that time, we have to think about how are we going to take the belt off of him, who are we going to give it to. I don't think he has any creative clauses or anything. Let's take a look at that real quick. I don't remember what I even gave him. Special attraction, no creative control or anything like that. So worst comes to worst, we just give it to somebody. There's a couple short list people that I'm thinking of that I think would work. But right now, it's kind of up in the air. Could always give it back to Dustin. Certainly. I know Will Ospreay wouldn't be a bad option either. Some options. Depends on what we want to do. We also got a couple new faces. We got Chris Hero, who don't think has debuted yet. I don't remember him debuting. We also got some tag teams. So we got some new we fired some people, got some new faces, kind of condensed it in general, got rid of some of the clutter, some people that we aren't using. There's a couple people that we're thinking about maybe on the way out. But anyways, enough of the recap. We have Cody Rhodes needs time to heal. That's fine. And we got a abysmal Starrcade rating. We have another show in 6 days. And I think we do want to do another show in between. So let's do May 3rd. Special Friday, I think I was looking at before, is relatively fine. Monday, too. Maybe Monday. Monday might be better. Okay. And 2-hour show. That works. Special from the Midwest, where we're located. Nope. There we go. That should be fine. And then a special, it should just one and done it and go away. 2-hour show. So it gives us 2 pay-per-views, a couple shows in between. I think by New Horizons, we're going to drop Cody if he doesn't join. And we will move the belt on to somebody else. So now it's just about time to figure out where we're going to get it. Money issue, still a problem. Still losing a lot of money. I'm thinking of actually going into these production values and lowering them. We did get our ridiculous amount of money from Carl's Jr., so we do have a little bit of wiggle room, but still issues. Broadcast quality is actually already lower, minor licensed. 15,000 per month plus a further 5,000 a show. Okay, that would upset the partners. Well, okay. Well, I guess not. I guess we're just going to be stuck in a money hole. Boy. I mean, ticket sales aren't great. TV revenue is actually not that bad. What's really the cost is production and workers is kind of eating us alive. We do have some cheaper wrestlers now, and that should be fine. I mean, not all of them are that cheap, but Chris Hero's $820, set as a mid-carder. He's a heel though. Yeah, I guess that's fine. Let me check what our heel and faces divide is. Something that I've been paying more attention to in our other show, Cyberpunk, that I probably should pay a little bit more attention here. So, Chris Daniels is leaving. Leaves us with just Dusty in the main event. Oh, wait, no. There's some more. Okay. Will Ospreay, Nick Aldis. Yeah, that looks right. Mid-carders need some more faces. I think we will make him... He'll come in as a face. Troublemaker face is fine. I think that'll be good. Okay, I think that looks fine. All right, let's go ahead and jump on over to Starrcade. Stephen Walters has sustained a sleepyhead. What the hell's a sleepyhead? Whatever. Will Ospreay left Lucha Underground, which is great. It actually means Will Ospreay will be here with us more, even more. He's extremely happy, by the way, though he's working for a bunch of companies still. New Japan, us, Progress, Rev Pro, Defiant. Would love to just have him focus on us first, but I think New Japan is his priority. I don't know if this goes in order. I think it does, though. But I wonder if I gave him the belt, if he would change his priority status. I don't know. All right, let's go ahead and let's book Starrcade. Looks like no one else got crazy injured. That's good. It's always a good sign. No one's dead. 90% backstage rating, which is great. That'll probably lower pretty quickly, though. We will see. Let's see here. Where are we going to be? Fairground. I think we've done a lot of shows there. Go back to Locker Room. So Tessa and Viper are elsewhere. That's fine. We'll medal. Though, actually, let's clear the air, get some of a boost to some of the people that are upset. There are still quite a few people that don't have or at least don't like us or have a negative environment. So giving them a little bit of a boost there, despite the fact that it actually does clearing the air does actually knock the backstage rating down a little bit. It gives everyone else that does it a boost, which is nice. Okay. A lot of positive influences. Only 2 negatives, which is Elliott and Daniels is on his way out. Obviously, we got rid of Raven, who was like the most negative influence. I feel like our number here jumped like 20 points when we did that, so guess it was about time to do it. Okay, let's go ahead and book this episode of Starrcade and lead us towards the next pay-per-view. Be right back. All right, guys, we are ready for Starrcade. We're running pretty lean, 63 minutes, 2 minutes to spare. Using, I don't want to say the B team, but we're trying to be smart about Starrcade because we're about I think the next season of NWA is all about building new talent, and I think that's what we're kind of starting to work towards tonight. So we will kind of look at it that way, as sort of building that bridge up. Let's go ahead and take a look and see how that bridge is built. So we started off actually pretty good. Freestyle segment. Pillman has an interview, and he talks about wanting to move up the ladder, and he has a big shot tonight that he was given to face an opponent that's already considered basically primed and ready to challenge for the belt, and he's hoping to prove himself that he's capable of moving up to the main event. And it's pretty good. It's C+, not bad. Not a bad way to start the show. Doesn't get them hot or anything, but it's a consistent rating, which is nice. This match is not great, and we're gonna have some repercussions out of this. But the Von Erichs debut, they get a rating of very good, average for their general gimmick quality. In ring though, they're not great. Did get the match got the crowd hotter though, which is nice. And we start two tag teams, or we have two storylines that kind of start here. It's not a great match. Von Erichs end up defeating the next big things, which is Joey Janela and MJF in 6 minutes. MJF was counted out while fighting Marshall. Some miscommunication in the ring led to the tag team kind of not synergizing. Ross Van Erich is improving in his performance skills, though, which is nice. Now, MJF is very upset about the booking of this match, so we'll have to make it up to him somehow. But afterwards, we have, in post-match, the two kind of who've been butting heads, having lost due to miscommunication, finally break up when MJF betrays Janela and brutally attacks him from behind, hits him with a chair, and basically kind of breaks up the tag team. Joey Janela came across well, and we've gained some heat for the personalities clash. So now the short-lived tag team between the two, the personalities just simply could not be contained, and ultimately spill off into a beginning of a feud. Does okay, D, nothing to be really that thrilled with. Afterwards, we have another commercial that Icarus cuts as the Carl's Jr. champion, and he does a commercial again for Carl's Jr. Actually, it got the crowd hotter. The crowd loved the Carl's Jr. commercial, I guess. Oh well. We have a debuting Chris Hero. Chris Hero comes out and he says he's show the world what a knockout artist can do for real. Gets the troublemaker gimmicks, below average. He's not that great with it. He does debut as a face, and he does have a debut match with a jobber of ours, Zachary Wentz. Defeats him for 7 minutes by stoppage after Zachary Wentz could not continue, and Chris Hero did in fact knock him out. They actually both have a similar performance in terms of in-ring performance. No chemistry, though. Nothing really to speak of. Match is fine. It's a D. Really, at this point, we were probably looking for more C minuses, D pluses. So it's actually kind of a weaker one. It's a little concerning to see that Chris Hero's in-ring performance is kind of capped at 43. Obviously, he has more, momentum and popularity, just being who he is in the wrestling world, which will give us a boost. But we're not going to see any big bangers out of him, it looks like. We have a promo backstage where Sami Callihan kind of addresses to the crowd through the camera why he attacked Josephus and kind of giving a better idea of what is going on in his head. And so he kind of goes backstage and he just looks into the camera and rants, a very traditional Sami Callihan switchblade conspiracy style rant. He says, people want to know why I left, why I turned on Josephus. Well, I thought the whys were obvious, but let me spell it out for you. When I came to the NWA, I was lost. I was in a dark pit of despair and confusion, and Josephus said that he had a light at the end of that dark tunnel. He said that there was a plan, a purpose, a destiny for us. He saw things that had not happened yet. He had a vision of a leader who would lead us to salvation. Well, where's that leader now? God knows. The things that have come to pass, all failures that have led us further to irrelevance. We lost and lost. We lost our leader. We lost our purpose. Lost our titles. Lost our goddamn company to a corporate shill in a baggy suit. Well, Sammy's done losing. He doesn't want or need anybody else to lead him to victory. The only thing left is to bury the past. That means you, Josephus. Gets pretty well. C+. And we get a pretty good idea of what's brewing between the two of them, and maybe where Sammy will kind of end up being. We have a very, very short match. D, it's okay. War Machine kind of continues their dominance, fights two randos in the lower end, Condren and Nakamura, who are kind of our enhancement talent / openers. Extremely short match. War Machine ends up defeating both of them in 2 minutes. Hansen defeats Condren with a pinfall very, very quickly. Got the crowd buzzing, though, which is interesting. It was an overbooked match. Apparently didn't go very well with the crowd, but it just was meant to be just total mayhem, carnage. Just kind of give an idea that that War Machine's just unstoppable and brutal. It does what it was intended to do, but boy, it's not really doing much here. What's really interesting, though, is Hansen's in-ring performance is so much higher than Rowe. Something to think about way down the line. If we ever need somebody in the upper mid-card separate, that's definitely an option there. Afterwards, we have the best friends that are interviewing backstage, talking about the match they just saw between War Machine. The interview's asking them basically if they feel threatened by him. Before they even really get to speak, Rowe and Hansen, having still sweating and tired from the match, basically just completely come in and surprise attack, beat him up, throw him into the walls, throw him into utility closets, the typical backstage brutality that you'd expect, but kind of just calling their shot and going straight for the champions, and end up leaving both Chuck Taylor and Trent Beretta on the ground unconscious. We have the Fresh Tag Division does gain heat from this. It does pretty good, C-, not bad. No chemistry noted here yet, but I think when we do fire and have these guys have a match, I think it's going to be a really well-rated one. Wow! Holy crap. That's a hell of a main event for a Starrcade. Exceptional match. Will Ospreay defeats Brian Pillman in 10 minutes by pinfall with a fast roll-up. Pillman ended up taking a crazy bump during the match. Crowd was buzzing. Pillman had a 63. Ospreay had an 82. Both did very well. It's a 10-minute match. Wasn't like super long, but it was very high energy. No worker improvements. B- 73. Holy crap. Pillman can hold his own. 63 is actually, he's better than I thought. That or he's improving very quickly. And obviously, Ospreay's almost, I feel like Will Ospreay's like a cheat code in this game. Like you can throw anybody at him and he's going to get at least a C. I did not expect Pillman and Ospreay to click enough to get a B-, though. That is great. And afterwards, we have similarly rated, almost a B+, actually. A quick segment, Pillman kind of upset. Ospreay helps him up, and both faces kind of, as the ultimate baby faces that they are, shake hands at a sign of respect. Ospreay lifting his hand up, kind of giving him a knowledge of like, hey, you did it, man. You didn't win, but yeah, you got my respect. Goes over well with the crowd, it looks like. The rating is high. Definitely going to boost our show up to a C, which is good. Definitely something we needed. That's not bad. Something to think about maybe between the two of them in the future. Wow. Yeah, much better than I thought that would have been. Ospreay is feeling grueling effects of the recent schedule. We got a .03 from that TV rating. That is awesome. 5 momentum, 36 prestige. Did lose some money. Actually, we didn't lose that much, though. Only about 10K. Worker cost was 50, about 70 there, 80-ish. So about 88, and then with TV revenue, 40, 50, 60-ish, 70. So yeah, we're at about 10K deficit. So it's like 40K a month. That's still bad, but something we'll have to deal with. And we do have heavy duty in 5 days. to worry about another show in addition to the Starcades. What we really need to do is need to start making money, because even with the roster being groomed down, being relatively cheap, I mean, the most expensive person that we had on that show was Ospreay by a mile, and it's still costing money. But we could put on a show without the big powerhouses, and that's kind of what's important. Actually, in fact, I think that show ended up being slightly better than the previous ones. 64 there. I don't quite remember what the last one was, but I don't think it was that high. Definitely not the main event of 76, and I think we had the Rhodes in there last time, so something to think about. Maybe just have to pay Ospreay to put somebody over, and that'll go well. Also, I just want to take a look here before we leave. I almost wonder if they still upper mid-Carter. Still improving very quickly. Still have very little scouting information, which is unfortunate. We should also, before we look, something we haven't done a lot in a while, is a creative meeting and see really where our backstage is feeling in terms of where our company is and maybe people we might want to look at. So franchise players, Cody's gone, or is going. Daniels is pretty much gone. So it leaves us with Ospreay, Aldis, and Callahan. And I wonder how that'll situate once this gets settled. But I'm kind of feeling high on all three, to be honest. Honestly, within these three, I think is our next NWA World's Heavyweight Champion. And it's really just a decision of where. I'm not sure. Part of me wants Aldis back as sort of a heritage to where NWA started. Though Ospreay is a easy pick, and Callahan, maybe not yet, but definitely can get there very soon. Next big things, Pillman and Vox. Vox, we need to push harder, but I think our women's division is kind of weak, and maybe something we address in the coming months in the game is how to best situate that. What's concerning, though, that this is all we have for next big things. So I think we need to start scouting out more younger Lions, more new talent, and see if we could start building up a roster here, because we don't have anybody in the wings that basically they're saying is future superstars. That's a problem. Hot prospects, though, our younger members of the roster have shown a mark for the stars of the future, not necessarily becoming eventers, but wrestlers have potential. So within that, we have MJF, Tessa, Joey, Wentz, who we're actually kind of probably misusing, but they're not necessarily our next big things yet. Talk to talk makes sense. Chris Hero is a strong mic worker, something to keep in mind. Showstoppers makes sense. Ring generals, not much has changed there. Who's hot? Again, unfortunately, leaving. Will probably stay. Has an insane amount of momentum, which is funny considering everyone hates him. But obviously some of that momentum is going to get lost because we'll see. But all signs point to Sammy winning his feud, and I think that makes the most sense. And then trying to figure out what we want to do with Josephus. I have some plans, have some ideas. Who's not? Yeah, that makes sense. I think this is probably a mistake. We should probably work on building PJ Black. I think for his price and his talent ability, we're probably misusing him. Something to kind of look at. Time Decline, also, again, makes sense. And Hidden Gems actually shows anybody out there. Jesse McKay is that not... Or am I thinking of somebody else? But was she not in the Iconics? Or am I going nuts? Casey Cassidy, Protege Madison Eagles, Pink Ladies. I guess not, because she doesn't have any tag teams. I thought so, though. Where's Sparkly Outfit? Can I see previous employment history? NXT developmental. Yeah. Interesting. Somebody to look at, actually, as we talked about maybe having a weakness in our developmental. Or not developmental, in our women's division. 600 per show. It's not bad either. Something to think about. Jesse White. Gringolas. Wish there was more than 5. But that's not a bad option. I think actually we'll just fire on that. Especially if we can get it for that cheap. 3-year contracts, fine. Not covered. 580, yeah, sure. Because once Ronda Rousey's gone, we're going to need somebody else. Women's division is looking a little thin. It's not horrible, but, we have Rachel Ellering, Tenille, Ronda's going to go. Tessa's hard to keep because she's constantly working elsewhere. Brandy will be gone, so we have Viper and Ashley. Yeah, we definitely need somebody, at least one other person, because Brandy's probably not going to be here. She's leaving in 15 days, and we're not going to sign her back up because we really only brought her along to make Cody happy and to have a manager. So something we'll look at maybe in the next episode, or when Ronda is done, we'll look at that and see what we can do to kind of build up the women's division a bit more. Definitely some possibilities. And also a good idea because generally they're cheaper, but can still put on good performance, which can help our rating. So having a few more women's matches and women's storylines is not going to hurt us in the slightest. All right, guys. That was a long one today. Thank you for joining me. I will see you shortly for NWA Heavy Duty. See you.